And we are back here with my friend Sam. I mean, I'm just so excited. We're going down memory lane.
Yes.
Like I said, we go way, way, way back, right? So we kind of talked about the beginning.
Yes.
We talked about how we met and everything. I want to talk about Project Slide, right? So
yes.
Project Slide is your amazing dance company,
Yes.
studio. And it's so funny, too, because I was just talking about in the break about, Sam's one of the most humble and just people that I know, right? And he would never brag upon herself and everything. And whereas me, I'm humble too.
To a certain degree. You are.
I'm confident. I'm confident, right? So, for you to put this together and lead into this company, like, I want to talk about, like, what was it about it? Because a lot of people have dreams. A lot of people have things they want to do. What was it that mentally you say, okay, enough talking, let me put this together. I have the skills, let me put it together.
Honestly, now that you say that, it was being on tour and working with BBD and seeing how some of the members had other companies. So in my mind, my plan was I wanted to dance and, tour with a bunch of artists. And then when I'm close to retiring, have a studio. And that way could say,
I did this and I danced
exactly.
with
This is, so people come flock. Exactly. So people flock based upon all the people that you dance with. And I was just like, well, they're part of, a bunch of major brands and they still have other, things going on.
Look at Michael Bivins. Especially.
I'm like, they have so much going on. I'm like, why would I wait? Like, they're part of a legendary group and they have other things going on. And here I am, just a dancer, and you think I'm just going to put all my eggs. I was like, oh, no, I need to do something now versus later. I always wanted to do it, but working with them and seeing how they were, juggling the various companies while doing that made me say, okay, I'm getting older. This is not going to last forever. I need to start, thinking smart. And I said, well, maybe now is better than later.
And that's funny, too, because one of the questions I had was, like, what you learned from working with BBD? Because, like, they say success leaves clues. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure you got a lot of good tips.
Yeah. The question is, what did I not learn? Another thing, too, I felt like every time I got a email about a show, rehearsal, I was like, classes in session. I personally I love working with great people and that they are. So I learned things from being humble. I just remember working with a lot of up-and-coming artists who were like, up-and-coming artists who were like cocky. It was just all this stuff going on. So when I worked with them, I was like, okay, it's probably going to be the same thing. And it wasn't. It was like the exact opposite. But here you have people who have the actual resume, and they're humble, but I work with so many people that are trying to get to where they are.
Man.
So that was a reminder to, like, okay, stay humble. So that's one major thing. Stay humble and keep it classic. I'll say that.
Let me just build on that real quick, because it's so funny you bring that up.
Okay.
Multiple people have brought that up before, and recently Fort Knox was talking about that.
I love him.
And that is so true, because I've seen that as well. I mean, even from my times doing the Beats and Lyrics show.
Okay.
From us interviewing people, like sometimes we interview a big artist and it goes simple, right? It go crate, problem.
Yes.
And we have a young aspiring artist we're gonna who lives in Atlanta, and we got through all these hoops to try to get them to come to the show. And I'm like, wait a minute, we just did a call in with this legendary producer. We just did a call in with this person. But because the thing is, and what one of my mentors, Jay Forrest, always taught me is that, once you get to that level, it's easy to hit. And one thing, especially with BBD and New Edition, all that kind of stuff, is that they know it's about staying there.
Yes.
And see, a lot of people, they want that shine, but that staying power
is not there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was the biggest thing, is staying humble and just keeping it classy too. Because I'm sure you remember this about me. Like, again, I was in my own bubble because I'm like, I have these standards. You know what I mean? Like, there's just some things that I'm just not gonna do. So working with them showed me the reward in keeping it classy. Like, they're who they are now because they kept it classy. You know what I mean? Like, and doing good work. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to always,
Man, and that's so true, too, because I think about that, and I always take consideration, because for me, I have an older sister, and then when we did the Beats and Lyrics show, shout out to Carmen. She was our co-host, and Carmen, Carmen's a younger sister than me and everything. So I look at her like a younger sister, and with you, I looked at you just as like a sister myself, and it's so true. Is because I remember upon meeting you, I was like, okay, this is what Sam's about, and this is what she wants to hold herself to, and I respect that. I'm like, how can I help? Because the thing is, listen, Sam is so nice sometimes, and sometimes I had to see things for her. It's like, wait a minute, nah, Sam, that's a scheme. That's
yes,
that's some sucker type stuff. Like, let me step in. Like, nah, bro, she's not gonna do that. She's not gonna do that because, like I said, you just always take people at their word,
absolutely,
and everything, and especially as a lady. Man, it could be difficult.
Yeah, it can, yeah.
Wow. I'm so glad that you've held to those standards and everything. And speaking about staying power, right? So Project Slide, your dance company now, you're celebrating 10 years. 10 years. That's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy.
That's insane.
Because like you said, we used to sit next to each other and we talk about what we want to do and how we want to get somewhere and how we want to do something. So getting to that point, like you said, you made that decision because you said you didn't want to just be a dancer.
Right.
And you didn't want to wait around for that and everything like that. But also, too, here's the thing. We know about naysayers, right? And we know about negative talk. Sometimes we even get that from our own family.
Oh,
it's just
this is real.
It's just real, right? But what I want to talk about as well, because I know you, right, is like, how did you stop your self-talk? Because sometimes we're our worst enemies. And also, too, I opened the show talking about, these stories we tell ourselves, right? Yeah. And, Sam, like you said, Sam and Cake's almost two different people, right?
That's
like
true.
Sam,
that's true.
That's
true. Sam is the overthinker, the in the box.
So Cake's, like, let's go do it.
Right.
Whereas I was like, well, where did she dig down? Because, I know that you probably were like, overthinking this and that. Like, how'd you stop your own brain from saying?
How did I stop my own brain? Again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier. For me, when I hone in on something and when I see the vision clear, I'm unstoppable. Okay, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Because when you say that, I was like, did I ever doubt? I don't remember really doubting, like, once I became clear. I just wasn't clear. But when it was clear to me that I wanted to do, the clarity of it makes you do this. Like, if you say, I want to do, the Odell's Roundtable and I want to shoot it this way, nobody can tell you any other thing because you're clear.
Yeah.
If you are not clear, I could come in and say, I don't like this backdrop. Why do you have this here? It should be 2 O's. You know what I mean? But if you're clear, then you're like, no, I'm glad you feel that way, but I love this backdrop. That's perfect. And 1 O because my first name starts with an O. So, and that's how it's going to be. So for me, once I was clear, and I was clear because, like I said, once I realized I wanted to do my own thing sooner than later, I told my mom, I was just like, look, I just want to have a thank God for moms.
Love your moms.
I was just like, I want to have a fun, positive dance program. Just give me a name. And she was like, okay.
So your mom gave you the name?
Yes, I can't even take credit, okay?
Nice.
My mother came up with the name.
Nice.
So I called her and she said, give me a night. And I was like, okay.
Okay.
She said, so you want fun, positive? I said, yeah. She called me the next day and said, I got it. I was like, what? I got the name of your studio. She said, Project Slide. And I was like, and she said, Slide could stand for Saving Lives in Dance Education.
Come on, moms.
And I was like, I said, is that proper? Look, she's an English teacher, and I was questioning her. I said, before I get excited, the Saving Lives in Dance Education makes sense. She was like, yes, it makes sense. I was like,
wow.
I love it. After that, done. It was over. I was like, that's it. Okay. Literally, after that, I purchased the domain. Wow. And like I said, I just kept going.
Yeah.
After that, I was like, that's it.
Man, let me unpackage a little bit of that because I really just want people to catch some of those things, right? Because that clarity part is so true. Because a lot of times when you get so frustrated, and a lot of that frustration comes from not knowing exactly what you want, and then not planning it out how to get to what you want after you figure it out. And man, that is very true. Because even with my show, the podcast, from the first time that I recorded one. It was like that. I used to sit around talking with my brother Dre, and Dre and I would sit around talking. I was like, man, we need to do a podcast. We need to do a show. And he didn't know what a podcast was. He was just like, whatever. And I kept talking about it. But like you said, I wasn't clear.
It wasn't clear.
And then one day I said, okay, let me look at the format. I want to talk about relationships. I said I want to have Dre and I just want to have another person, boom, boom. And like you said, then I kept going. And I started putting something together.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I found a studio, started recording. And there was no video. It was just all audio and everything like that. And it started getting clear. But then also, too, is that I like the fact that you found somebody that you can incorporate who's going to give you some encouragement as well.
Yes, yeah.
Because far too often sometimes that the first people we tell are people who shoot everything down.
Yeah. So I was thankful that my mom was like, I got you. Just give me a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, also, too, that belief helps reinforce you, right? Because sometimes we step out, because I ain't going to lie, because a couple times, the first time I did the show as well, I'm sitting there like, are we really going to do this?
It's going down.
But then, when Dre's like, okay, we're going to the studio. I'm like, wait, I got to go now. I got somebody else.
Once you get more people on board.
Clarity.
Wow. Clarity and just starting. That's the other thing, too. Because we were talking about that earlier, overthinking.
Right.
That can definitely... I just started it, and one thing led to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing. Like, I literally started in a super small space.
Right.
My mirrors, I don't even know if people know, but they were from IKEA. Like, they weren't even official dance studio. I mean, I have official dance studio mirrors now, praise God.
We know.
But
we know.
Now I do. And I couldn't even afford a ballet bar, so I went and I used PVC pipes.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Wow. So again, you just got to
rolling.
Start. That's my point. It's not going to be perfect. You just have to start. Man. So I had a space. I got the IKEA mirrors. I had the PVC pipes, and only 3 kids when we first started.
But here's the thing. And when she says only, I just want to keep on that as well, right? One, getting started. But then when she says only 3 kids, because here's the thing, right? Like, I've seen Sam in action. Yes. I mean, I know Sam. And, Fort Knox talked about this recently. He felt like the 3 elements he felt like for anybody to be successful, he said you got to have passion about it.
Yes.
You got to have the skills, and you got the consistency.
Yes.
And so when Sam is with her kids, her students, her clients, you talking about getting the full service. I know those 3 kids got amazing service.
Oh, my, yes.
And that's what kept
I definitely, okay.
You didn't look at it like this, I only got 3 kids.
No, absolutely not. In my mind, it was hundreds and hundreds of kids. And I know that's what helped out because, the passion was oozing. I didn't shortchange them. I didn't say, no, I was teaching like I had a full house.
Yes.
Every class. And I planned and I prepped and I really taught with the same integrity that I have now with hundreds of kids that I had with just 3.
Yeah. And see,
that's important. I think that's very important.
I say this all the time. I talk about. I meet people and they say they want to do something. They want to do this. They want to do that, and that's very true. But like you said, they're waiting for like a big artist or waiting for something to validate them. I'm like, no, you need to do this right now.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I tell people all the time. Who was it? I forgot. It might have been Sean Fallon or somebody. I was giving her the intro.
Okay.
And they were like, man, you felt like you gave me an intro like you want to sway or something. I'm like, listen, I don't change anybody that takes the time out of their schedule to come sit with me. Like, I want to make sure that you are celebrated. I want to make sure that my guests get the red carpet rolled out for them. Because, like you said, I'm not waiting for some certain name person. Like, I feel like if I live it now and I do it all the time. You never know.
Yep.
Wow. And so, speaking of that, so once again, like I said, Sam's a little humble, so I got to keep shouting her out. Those 3 students turn into more students.
Yes.
Turn into more classes.
Yes.
Turn into recitals.
Yes.
To the point where, I mean, we talk about the Woodruff Art Center, and then you talk about coming full circle. Talk about full circle about you holding your recitals at the same theater where you and I used to sell box office tickets at.
Won't he do it? So, yes, this is how I know, Odell. We used to work at the Woodruff Art Center at their box office.
Yes, selling tickets.
So, selling tickets. Stopped working there to pursue my dream as a dance studio owner and dancer / choreographer.
Yes.
And I ended up having to rent the Alliance Theater out for my recitals.
Listen, hold on. Let's not act like the Alliance Theater is some Alliance Theater. The Alliance Theater, we're talking about, renowned.
That's where I saw Debbie Allen at. Let's just talk about that. That's where I saw.
I'm sorry. Let me keep
That's
going.
all we have to say.
Keep going.
That's all we have to say. So I ended up renting out the Alliance for my recital. sold out. No, we started with the 14th Street Playhouse.
Yeah, 14th Street.
Let me go back. We started with the 14th Street Playhouse. Yes, yes. And that I remember I used to have to ask friends to come to the show to try to fill up the space. Yeah. Then we outgrew the 14th Street Playhouse.
Yes.
Then we moved to the Alliance, and then we sold out the Alliance several years, and they ended up doing construction. I guess they were. They were expanding.
Yes.
So they did that, and we ended up moving to the First Center. So it was a full circle going from working in the box office, like I tell Odell, to walking up to the box office and say, hi, can I get 10 VIP holds for my show? Man. And having to talk to my supervisor, my old supervisor, to organize the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like we had to build the tickets, build the summary. I had to email her to tell her what I wanted my show description to be. So yeah, that was, and it's funny because I don't even think I was definitely humble with that.
Yeah, yeah.
It was weird. The more we talk about it, the more I'm like, that's insane. I was just going through the motion. I was just going, but that was definitely a full circle moment. So. If you're working someplace now,
okay, talk to them.
Please be patient.
Yeah.
Your time will come, and you just never know. So wherever you are working, work with integrity.
Yeah.
Give it 100% because we work together. So had I been rude to him, had I been rude to my old supervisor at the Alliance, they could have emailed and said, hey, I hear that this dance studio is coming, but, she worked here, and I really don't think it's a good idea.
Yes.
But I left on good terms.
Yeah, I did too.
And I treated everybody with the most respect that I could, so.
Wow.
Hold fast. Your time will come, and you never know. Your supervisor could be working for you one day.
Ooh, listen.
But I love her. She's awesome.
Let's let that breathe for a second.
Okay,
now seriously, though, I'm so happy and proud about that because it's so true. Because we talk about relationships on the round table. We talk about keeping good relationships in business and everything. And that is so amazing because you and I both know. We know about, like you said, working at a place, with a headset, taking a phone call, booking tickets.
Ticket services.
It's easy, to blow up one day, or it's easy to go off, or it's easy to think, you know what? I have greener pastures, so I can just blow this thing up behind me and not worried about it. But I'm so happy and so excited that, like you said, we both have that mentality. We're not going to do that. We're going to be respectful. We're going to have integrity. And for that thing to come all the way back full circle, because it started with the 14th Street Playhouse, like you said, to go to the Alliance Theater. Okay, we're talking about all kind of plays being
Broadway
plays being played there, to sell that out. And repeatedly, and then, like you said, to walk in, because at the time, you're right, the person we used to work for was still working there, and to walk in there, and now you are working out like, okay, this is how I want it to look. This is how I want this to look.
I want to reserve the
first sit in that office.
Saying, that's crazy. Yeah. That's insane.
So I just really want people, but also, too, with that said, is that the work put behind that, too. Because Sam, like you said, she's happy-go-lucky and stuff like that. But can you talk about how because a lot of people see this on Instagram, they see all the fun and everything.
Oh gosh,
you got to roll your sleeves up. You had to. I remember talking to you certain times. You're like, "Oh, Dad, I got to learn about taxes. I got to learn about business. I got to learn about all these things."
It's not a game. Oh my God. It's not easy.
Yeah.
It's so not. We're sitting here, we're relaxed, we're laughing and joking. Yeah. It is not easy. I didn't come from a business background, so you have to kind of learn as you go. You know,
hopefully not taking too big a lumps.
Exactly. And if you hear a lot of podcasts or read books, they'll always say fail forward. There you go. Yep. And fail fast too.
Fail fast.
Because you rather fail in your first year than to fail in year 30. Exactly. No. So they'll always say that. But yeah. I would just say, hold on, I lost train of thought. Well, I'm sorry.
We're just talking about
it's getting late.
Well, it's all good. You had to roll your sleeves up. You had to get dirty.
Yes. I got you. Rolling the sleeves, yes, is not easy. I definitely had to roll my sleeves up. A lot of research, a lot of going online to learn things,
Yeah. The learning never stops.
It never stops.
The learning never stops.
Never stops. I mean, I don't know if you have any specific questions, but I definitely had to roll my sleeves up. I had to teach every class. I had to run the front desk. I had to do the plumbing. I had to clean the mirrors. So
right.
If you're talking about that, yes.
Yeah. And then also too, I mean, like we were talking about earlier when I first got to Atlanta, working at the Woodruff and then even working at Borders. And I used to walk from the Woodruff from 14th Street all the way up to 17th Street to Borders. And I would walk to my job. So it's hard for me to have patience sometimes when people tell me about what they're going through.
I get what you're saying.
And so it's the same thing with you, right? I look at you. I mean, you're a businesswoman, you're a wife, you're a mother. It's going to be hard for somebody to come tell you about this little hangnail that they got that's stopping everything.
Gotcha. Oh, and yeah. This is a different generation, too. So, we're from... That's a whole other thing. But, you have the hard knocks, the people like our parents who are
right.
What are you talking about? So we kind of have that same thing. So I get exactly what you're talking about. Like people want to call out for basic stuff. Oh, my big toe is, no, well, you keep on going.
Yeah.
Life goes on, But I do see that a lot with training kids sometimes too. They're not as tough.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying. I do kind of have it's like, no.
Right.
You got to practice. Like they don't want to put in the work. Like you're not going to be able to get a split just by talking about it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's when I see it more so when it comes to the teaching.
Yeah.
And then working and like you said, having employees seeing that. But because it's definitely it's easy to come up with excuses. I'm like, no, I remember getting up early. Practicing, even when I toured, I would always practice.
You
know what I mean? I didn't care if we did the same routine. I'm going to still practice because this could be the day something else could happen. And, you don't want that to take your attention. You really got to put in the work.
You got to put the work in. I'll say one last thing about that. I remember it's so funny because at the time, at the Woodruff, even though you worked there, you still had to pay for parking.
Oh,
so
God.
my behind, I remember and everybody used to say, what is he doing? I would drive to Borders on 17th Street, park my car because I could leave it there.
I
would walk my behind all the way down to the Woodruff Arts Center and then get off work.
Okay.
And in my behind, I didn't want to.
That's different.
Yeah, I didn't want to spend the money or the barter thing. I wanted to save the little change I got. So I didn't take the bus up there. I mean, a couple times you let me borrow your car so I could just get on the bus.
Right.
And just not have to walk back after working an 8-hour shift.
Okay, that's why you have zero.
And I would walk up to the Borders and I would get off in the box office and then close. And so, like you said, sometimes, I mean, it's funny. I've thought about that coming back, is that, some of these little problems we have. And I mean, I have to check myself sometimes now. I have to check myself.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
Sometimes now, but I think back then, I'm like, man, early Atlanta. Wait a minute, Odell, you did that? I was like, okay. Because like I said, in my mind, I said, okay, I want something better. I want to, so I had to work the two jobs.
Yeah.
I had to do these types of things, the clarity. All right, so listen. I want you to tell everybody, before we get to our last question and everything, I want you to talk to everybody, tell everybody how they can follow you, how they can get in contact with you, how they can get involved with Project Slide and all these amazing things. Especially they might have kids they want to bring, because she is amazing working with kids and adults now. So you're working with parents. Talk about that.
Got our adult program. So you can follow me on Instagram at Gotta Love Cakes.
Gotta Love Cakes.
Because you gotta love cakes. Then you can also follow me at Project Slide for my company. Symbols that at Project Slide on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
Right.
Yes, go to www.projectslide.com. You can now register your child, like Odell said. We just launched our adult program, and we're having a great time. Classes meet on Wednesday, 6:30 to 7:30. Come on, you gotta check us out. Come on.
I gotta get down there.
Come
and
on,
check
you
out
got
the
it.
studios. It's been a while, because the funniest thing when I ran into it had been a couple of years since we had seen each other, and I went to go see a friend at your old studio. I went to go see a friend his son had a soccer game. And I walk into my car. It's funny how it works, how the universe works. I walk into my car, and I'm getting in my car, and I just happen to look up, and I see a logo, and it said Project Slide. And I said, wait a minute.
I forgot about that.
I remember closed my car door, and I just walked up inside. I was like, I hope this is Sam.
she's here.
And I just walked in there, and I remember everybody. I just kind of walked in. You know how you hit the thing, you hit a record scratch, and we're like, who is this guy?
This?
I just walked in, I probably closed the door, probably loud or something,
Right,
you know
right.
me. No, I'm behind. I walked in, and then all of a sudden, the music stopped, and looked up, and now I'm looking around like I'm supposed to be here, and now I'm looking for Sam, like, where's Sam? Where's Sam? Where's Sam? Did you came around the corner?
Yep.
And I remember, I think I might have been there for like 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how we do.
Oh, my gosh, hanging out, man, guys. Yeah, listen, so I always end the show with this. My final question is I always say, so Sam, what has been your key, or what would you think is your recipe to building and maintaining great relationships?
Building and maintaining great relationships. Being yourself. Not having an agenda, ulterior motive,
Okay.
And being consistent, I would say. Be yourself. Like, I'm just me. I don't care who it is.
Yeah.
I'm just me. And I'm going to be genuinely me. Like, this is me. Like, I'm not going to, now that I know you have your show, I'm not going to go out the way like, oh, Odell, what's up? We should do this. Like, no.
Right.
And I think people can sense that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you're being authentically you.
Wow.
Then, like I said, just being consistent, too.
It's amazing you say that, as we wrap up, because I was laughing. I was saying to myself, one of the reasons why you and I work so well, Delvin, everybody at the box we all worked together, because we all came to the table and we're like, okay, this is who we are.
Yeah, this is it.
I'm like, listen, I'm a kid, military, my dad's in the military, I lived all kind of different places, I really don't got no accent. I call Montgomery, Alabama home. I'm here in Atlanta, I'm trying to do my thing. Sam was like, listen, I'm from South Carolina. I went to school in Minnesota. Right. I like to dance.
That's it.
I just want to have a good time. This is what I'm about and everything. Like, this is what we were. I'm like, okay, this is what we have. Yeah. And you're right. I mean, I think more people, I encourage more people to be okay with that.
Yes.
I think because that's one of the reasons we vibe so well. It was no facade. It was no like, oh, I'm this or I'm that. It was just like, we got quirky little things. We work next to somebody. Right. We work next to somebody. You really get to know them. Like you said, I know about, you made me think about the Debbie snacks and all your snacks.
It makes sense now. Now he's going to remember.
Yeah, she knows about me. Sam had to keep my eyes focused a lot of times.
That's a whole other episode.
That's a whole other episode. One day we might have to.
That's part 2.
But Sam used to definitely have to. Odell.
Yeah, let's focus.
Let's focus. Let's look at that computer monitor.
Keep it together.
I was new to Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? I come from Montgomery. It was a lot.
Yeah. I know, bro. That's why I had to keep you in check.
But listen, as we wrap up, I hope everybody can get something from this.
Yes.
I'm just so happy because you hear stories about you working along somebody and somebody makes it, somebody does things, and we're still working on things.
Still grinding.
Literally, I think back to us meeting each other, and like in that instance, we were like, okay, this is a cool person. Like, this is what she wants to do. This is what I want to do. So I would encourage everybody out there as well to, quit so much always looking up and looking at all these things. Like, look around you and some of these people that great, amazing people around you. I really love that about the show as of late. Is that I aspire to have all kind of different guests and all different people.
Of course.
But I know some amazing people around
right
me,
in
and I'm just
circle.
so blessed. And I was like, let me celebrate that, and let's just encourage that, and let me just share them with more of the world and everything, because what she's doing with the kids and now with the adults and like I said, you're talking about someone who were like, okay, I don't know where to go, this and that, to now she's navigating business, and now she's navigating deals, to now working on big things, and it started from just getting started.
Yes, just starting.
So make sure you go out there. Listen, follow me on Instagram, social media, all that kind of stuff at Artbyodell, ARTBYODELL. Make sure you follow Live Hip Hop Daily. Follow my man, Jay Black, Jabari Blackman, MOND, the man behind the camera, always makes me look good. But I just want to encourage everybody, man. That's why I was so excited about this show. Sam was definitely someone that when I updated the format and started putting the guests together, they had to look at the schedules and align it and everything and get everything lined up. And I'm just proud of you.
No, I'm proud of you. Thank you. No, I'm proud of you. We're doing it.
I'll do a little something. We get there. But listen, this is your boy Odell for Odell's Roundtable. We're signing out.
Yes. Peace.